What's going on, guys? So this is a video that I really didn't want to make. I had no desire to make this video. I didn't really want to. I just wanted to kind of move on from it and have fun on my channel, talking about movies and stuff. But a lot of people have requested me to make this video. So since my entire goal ever since I started YouTube in 2009 is to please my subscribers, I am making this video because you asked me to. And this is going to be very unedited, very unpolished, just like that script I posted. Because I just want it to be real. I just want you guys to see me for who I am, not Mr. Movie Review Guy, you know? So what's this video about? Well, basically on Twitter, I posted kind of like a fan rewrite of two scenes in Batman v Superman. And my goal was basically to convey that I wish there was an unmasking scene in the film, a scene where they both kind of acknowledged that they knew who they were. Like, I know you're Bruce Wayne. Hey, I know you're Clark Kent. That was one of my favorite parts of the Batman Superman animated movie, when Batman's like, you peaked. And I wish there was a scene like that. So that was the one idea that I wanted to convey in the rewrite. And the other was that I thought it would be a little more emotionally powerful if, rather than the fight ending because they both realized that they had moms named Martha, and Batman had that moment where he realized that this alien has a mom, I thought it'd be more powerful if Batman realized that he was almost in the same position that the gunman who killed his parents was, about to murder someone who is loved, with Lois being there begging for him to stop, similar to his mom begging the gunman to not kill Bruce's father. And I thought that that would be a more powerful way for that to stop, and it would also kind of tie back into Alfred saying, you know, this is how it starts, the fever, the rage, that turns good men cruel. Because Alfred was kind of warning Bruce, like, you know, you're going too far. You know, you're starting to act more like the people that you put in jail. You're starting to act more like them than you. And I thought that would kind of tie more into that. So those are my really only two goals with it. And the story of that day is that my wife told me, I have something I want to do for you. I didn't know what it was. No idea. But she told me that I had to be ready at a certain time of day. And I believe it was 3 p.m. Maybe 3:30. And she was like, if you want to do something with your videos or whatever, just make sure you're done by 3. The day before, I had thought to myself, it'd be fun to just post my idea about the Batman v Superman thing. And I wrote on Twitter, I was like, I'm going to post my own little idea for it. A little rewrite idea. And people were like, oh, that's cool, yeah, I want to see it, blah, 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 you know. So I had about 20 minutes to quickly pound out an idea. And that's exactly what I did. I took 20 minutes and I wrote some very unpolished dialogue. And essentially just to say, hey, here's my little fan idea of how this could maybe happen. The thing is, I forget that I do have a following on Twitter. I forget sometimes that I do have a substantial amount of people who follow me on Twitter. And I also forget that in some ways I'm viewed as a voice in the YouTube movie reviewing community. Because as I've said countless times in my videos, I don't view myself that way. Because I'm just me. I'm just a guy who loves movies. I've never really put a title on myself. The only reason I refer to myself as a film critic is because technically that's what I do. I mean, I talk about movies and I say what I like and what I didn't like, so by harsh definition, I'm a film critic. But it's really other people who have raised me up more than I think I am. I've never viewed myself as someone worthy of praise. So I forget that other people sometimes do view me that way, because I get a lot of emails from people saying, oh, you've inspired me to start my own YouTube channel, or you've inspired me to start writing, or I've gotten emails from people who have told me that they've not committed suicide because they've watched my videos. And a shocking amount, a shockingly, disturbingly high amount of emails with that subject. And it's very heartwarming for me to even consider that other people appreciate what I do that much. So, bringing back to this, I forget sometimes that people view me as someone who is important. So when I put something out there that is so clearly unpolished, not even a first draft worthy thing, I forget that other people are going to think that I think that's my best work, when it's not. That took me 20 minutes to write. I didn't really put much effort into it at all. And what ended up happening was as soon as I finished, I put it on Twitter, and my wife quite literally blindfolded me and took me somewhere. It ended up being a movie theater that my friend owns, and it was a birthday party surprise for me. All my friends were there, and we got to watch Spirited Away in theaters, which truly was amazing. But that night, I noticed that my Twitter is flooded with people essentially making fun of me and making fun of the idea. So I thought, that's fine. It's funny because you got to laugh at yourself. I turned 28, I've been dealing with stuff like that for a long time. And you just have to laugh it off sometimes. And I did. I laughed it off. Some of my friends and I looked at some of the memes and we found them pretty funny. But then it got different. It went to slightly more insulting levels. And that's kind of where I drew the line. Because I wake up and I see my wife. She has her computer open. And she's reading tweets and stuff. And she looks extremely sad. And I think to myself, really? Something that was so inconsequential to me, that took me not even a half an hour, that has really no impact on anything, is being talked about that much. And I'm not kidding. I had a moment for maybe an hour where I said, yeah, I don't think I want to do this anymore. Because if that's really what it's like when I basically, for fun, write something and just say, hey, here's an idea, what's the point of even trying? What really is the point of trying? I'll tell you what the point of trying is. The point of trying is trying. If you have a desire to express yourself through art, or to attempt to make something or create something, then you shouldn't let someone else tell you that you shouldn't. Ever. Because it really has no effect on them. Like if you make a bad movie, or you make a bad screenplay, or you write a bad book, and by bad I mean that other people say they don't like it, what does it really matter? You didn't kill anybody. You didn't kidnap a kid, And that's one of it's hard sometimes because so much negative attention can be given to something so small. Like, I'm not paid by Warner Brothers, to write a script. I'm not making a fan film based on those 4 pages. It was something I just did for fun. My best analogy is, let's say you're a carpenter. Like, you're a really, you love carpentry. You build things a lot. You build things all the time. People respect you. Maybe you built a house one time. Maybe you built a really, really nice cabinet or something. I don't know. And then one day, as a personal exercise, just for fun, you see how fast you can build a bench. And you spend 20 minutes and you make a very unpolished bench. You know personally that you didn't really put that much effort into it, but you just kind of wanted to see if you could, like an exercise. And you look at it and you go, yeah, I would never sell that bench, but yeah, it's a bench. And then someone walks by and says, that bench is shit. Yeah, you suck. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I didn't really spend that much time on that. Yeah, well, whatever. Okay, you brushed it off. That's funny. I didn't spend much time on that bench. It only took me 20 minutes. I can do better if I try. 2,000 people later telling you that your bench is shit, it can get strange because you know personally that you didn't put much effort into that bench. You just did it for fun, to see what came out of it. And that's really where I am with this Batman v Superman thing. I have written a feature-length screenplay before, and it has been through some hands in Hollywood. A few directors and a few production companies have expressed that they really like it. It just hasn't gotten made yet. It's about 100 pages long, and it took me almost 2 years to write. Because that's really how I write when I'm trying. There are two different types of writers in my mind. There's the person who writes a book and then corrects himself. And there's the person who writes a sentence and then corrects that sentence and then moves on. I'm the sentence guy. I am extremely meticulous about everything. But when it comes to something like a script rewrite thing that is really just a fun exercise for me, I was blown away by how many people felt the need to point out the obvious. It's not that good. I'm well aware of that. As I said, my goal was basically to just say, it'd be cool if they acknowledged who each other were. I thought that the movie didn't quite have enough humor, so I had Batman be kind of sarcastic. I even put in parentheses mocking to say that he was, kind of sarcastically mocking Superman. And I wanted the fact that Batman was killing people to somehow tie into it, to give his character a little more depth, a little more reasoning behind why he was killing criminals. And that's it. And it was just for fun. But the amount of response that it's gotten is it's crazy. And at first I thought it was funny, but it's gone beyond funny. And I think it's time to for me to move on from it. If people want to make fun of it, then people are going to make fun of it. I mean, if you look at my Twitter, you can see that the first couple of days, I even acknowledged the one Twitter that was making jokes about it and said, this is funny, check it out. Because it was funny. I'm okay with laughing at myself. The majority of my life in school, I was bottom of the barrel in regards to popularity. Yeah, didn't have a lot of friends. I've been on YouTube since 2009. I've dealt with any kind of rude comment that could possibly happen. I mean, you guys don't even know. Seriously. I had one guy go as far as to search Stuckmann through the white pages, called various Stuckmanns in the state of Ohio, until he found my dad. And started talking shit to my dad. I mean, do you realize how crazy that is? And that kind of shit happens. I've seen it all on the internet. But I also have to realize that it's the internet. Ben Affleck's going to look sad in an interview one day. And 10 billion views later, sad Affleck is a thing. I mean, the guy's going through a divorce right now. He's probably wondering what's going on with his kids. The film that he worked hard on didn't get the best reviews. I don't blame the guy for looking sad. He's a human being with a life, So it's one of those things where it's really easy to watch somebody and just be like, I know you. you know, because I see you through this tunnel vision of YouTube, but you really don't, you know, and that's one of the reasons why I've always steered away from YouTube drama. When that whole thing with the Fine brothers happened, I didn't mention it because despite the fact that it seemed very corporate and very kind of slimy, I don't know them. Also, I have so much in my life right now to be thankful for. I have a short film that I directed that's going to be at a festival this weekend. It's in competition under the drama category. I can't wait for that. I worked hard on that. I'm working on a fiction novel. My book that was published did very well, and I've read some amazing things from people. I have a lovely wife who just surprised me with like the world's best birthday party ever. And to top it off, we just got our first house. My loan went through, and we're fixing it up right now. I'm alive and breathing, and I'm happy. I get to talk about movies with you guys, and I've gotten countless emails from people saying, hey man, don't worry about that Batman thing. It'll blow over. It doesn't really mean anything. And I'm like, I understand. But it's still, you know, distressing that something so tiny would get that much attention. And that's what does bother me. And let me leave you with this. I got an email from someone the other day, and it nearly brought me to tears because I've told you guys before that the thing that my ultimate goal with my channel was to connect with other people who love film and also have aspirations to be involved in film in some way. Because you do realize that I am just a person. I used to work for a school system with handicapped kids. That was my job. I cared for handicapped children. I am not someone who went to college whose entire life goal was to be a professional YouTuber. It just happened. So this person sent me an email and he said, look man, I'm a huge fan of you. And he's like, don't worry about the jokes about your rewrite because, you know, obviously you didn't really put much effort into it, but I have to say, it's made me reconsider if I want to be a writer or not. Because I don't think I could handle someone making fun of me that much. I think I'm just going to go back to my other career. When I read that email, I realized just how damaging this has been. It's no longer funny. It's making people not follow their dreams, and knowing that that's because of me, because of some stupid, meaningless 4-page thing I threw up on Twitter for fun that took me less than half an hour. It's painfully sad. And sir, if you're watching this video, please don't reconsider. Keep writing. I am too. Okay, apologies for the angle change. You might have noticed a jump there. That's because DSLRs can only film for 20 minutes at a time, and then you have to restart. Unfortunately, when I press record again, I bumped the camera, and now it's going to be like a jump in the video, but whatever. So as I was saying, if you're watching this video, dude, don't stop writing. Seriously, just go for it. I never really show you guys my creative side. Ever, really. I mean, except for this Twitter thing. I was like, hey, here's this thing. Oh, boy. Because, like, even when I have, like, my Indiana Jones movies from when I was a teenager, you know, I recognize that they're silly and stuff. And so that's one of those things where it's like, I know when I make something that's not that great, and I'm fully able to acknowledge that. I still create things all the time. I have a short film that's going to be at a film festival this Saturday. I'm extremely excited about that. My film's going to be in a movie theater for people to watch this Saturday. And I don't share that side with you guys. And a lot of that is because I feel like it's not what you subscribe to my channel for. You know, I feel like when I started my channel, it was just like, hey, I'm going to do movie reviews for fun. And people subscribe to me for those. So it's like, I don't have to show them everything I do. And I've made a lot of films over the past few years, and most of them have just been in film festivals, or I've shared them with family or friends. Again, back to the carpentry thing. When you know that you didn't put 110% effort into something, and other people are telling you that you clearly didn't, it's kind of like, yeah, I know, I just thought I'd share my idea with you. And that's really the extent of it for me. My mistake was putting something out there that was clearly not finished. Not even really a first draft, kind of like a rough draft of a first draft that would eventually be drafted 2, 3, 4, 5 more times before I ever show it to anybody if I was professionally writing this screenplay. And that's one of those things I forget, and that was my mistake. Because as I said, I don't think of myself as anyone important, and so I forget that sometimes other people do. I don't put myself on a pedestal, but some people do. And I understand that now. And it's going to be one of those things where it is what it is, you know? I mean, the fact that people are asking me to respond to it is funny to me, because look at all of the hate that has been thrown at the actual Batman v Superman movie. The actual film, the real film. And Zack Snyder has basically made like one comment about it. 1 or 2 comments. I don't even know if Ben Affleck has actually responded to it at all. Or the writer. You know? I wrote a very inconsequential, meaningless, basically fan fiction, and it's gotten this much attention. And people want me to comment on it. Not to say that I'm at Zack Snyder's level of fame or something, and that's different. But what I'm trying to say is that, like, my thing is nothing. You know, it's nothing. It has no impact on anything. It's just me going, here's a fun little idea I had, you know? But I'm commenting on it because I feel like at this point, if I don't, I will look like I'm rude. and my subscribers have asked me about it. And I do care about you guys. I do. That's why I'm making this video. But like when the actual filmmakers don't really respond to like the hate that the actual film has gotten, it kind of makes you realize it's like you balance it out in your head and you're like, oh, what I'm doing here is really nothing compared to the actual thing. And they don't seem to be that bothered by it. As far as I know, I've seen everything from death threats, people telling me to kill myself, people telling me to kill my wife, people telling me they want to fuck me with razor blades. At this point, my skin's pretty tough, and I would say this whole thing rolled off of me a few days ago. But today when I woke up and I looked at my wife, I could tell it was bothering her. And that's where I draw the fucking line. The moment that something this small to me in my brain, something I just, you know, here's an idea. The moment that starts to affect my family, emotionally, negatively, fuck it. That's when I'm done. So, this is my last final thought on this whole thing. I'm not going to comment on it anymore. I'm not going to respond to it anymore. I made this for you guys. And I hope you understand that it doesn't really bother me. I'm making this because you guys asked me to. And it's one of those things where I just wanted to make sure you knew how I felt about it. It was funny at first because, yeah, it's not very good, and I know that. But there comes a point where you're like, okay, I get it. You know? okay, I get it. I haven't deleted it off my Twitter page. I haven't deleted anything because I'm not ashamed of anything because I didn't put that much effort into it. I'm laughing with you. I almost got an action figure of General Zod and turned his neck around and put him right there. I'm not kidding. I almost did it because it was funny to me. But then it stopped being funny and it went too far. Some of you have gone too far. And go ahead, be happy about it. Live your lives. Be happy about it. But you went too far. Some of you did. Nevertheless, I appreciate the fact that you guys have even responded in a way to something I wrote, even if I didn't put much effort into it, because it shows me that even the people who have been mean, you guys are passionate about something. You guys are passionate about creativity. And that's the one positive I can take away from it, is that I know that I have people who watch my videos who are passionate about being creative. And I thank you for that. This whole thing is so silly. Anyway, you guys are the best. Most of the time. Most of the time. You guys are the best. I appreciate it. Thank you so much as always for watching. I'm going to be back with reviews for The Amazing Spider-Man 2 before Civil War, as well as Star Fox Zero. I picked it up and I'm excited to play it. And I'll be trying to beat it in the next few days. And I'll have a review for you guys very soon. You guys are the best. Thank you so much as always for watching. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.